And because what I, yeah, because what I had told her was one of the first things I told her was that I've never believed. Um, my mom's the only person that whenever she said, and I don't know why it is, but my mom was the only person that I've ever met that whenever she would say, "It's gonna be okay," I believed her. When she said those words, it's gonna be okay. You'll be okay. I believed her. I haven't met anybody in between that I haven't met anybody, period, aside from that woman, that when they said those words to me, it actually went in. And it wasn't just me going, and I didn't just think, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? But when Nancy told me, you're going to be okay, I felt it. I felt it at a level that I can't deny. And you guys know how skeptical I am. You know, I was raised in a Catholic family. I was forced into Catholic schools. I went to church every Sunday and Friday, and I was part of that whole thing. I was really really religious growing up. It was a lot of work to break out of all that. I'm a very skeptical, very I'd like to believe I'm agnostic more than anything now. But my view on that kind of stuff is I don't have any faith in it until I see something. Like until further notice, what I see is what I get. Otherwise, I'm just gonna drown in fucking just because that's what the human brain does. It fills in the blanks. And because I'm a scary person and I always prepare for the worst, I fill in the blanks with terrifying shit like solipsism, and that's when things get bad. So I've learned to just once I start getting to once my brain starts getting to those questions, like the questions that we don't have the access to the answers to, that's when I need to stop. That's when I need to cut off because I'm just going to start scaring myself. Because that's just the way my brain works. Because I'm a human and I fill in the blanks because I'm an asshole. Because the unknown is more scary than anything, I think. But then again, I am just filling it with the unknown because that's what solipsism is. Because that's my biggest fear is just being stripped of all senses and still being conscious. My fear is that death is just you lose your body and you're still there. You know what I'm saying? And it's just eternal darkness. Like you lose your hearing, you lose your sight, you lose all your senses besides the thing that, you know, made them all work in congruency, the consciousness. That's my greatest fear is that after this body goes, I'm just going to be suspended in just this vast nothing nowhere, and I'm just going to be like I'm just going to be pure thought. And that's what the solipsism is that that's what this is that that's how I got here, is that that's what I really am. And like even talking to you about it now, I'm starting to get a little anxious because I feel like I'm going to blip myself out. That's it, but that's what it is that I think that what I really am is that, and this is me. This is my way of getting out of it. Is I got so scared of being uh, 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 just nothingness that I've generated this massive deliberate construction that I know as Travis Black, and I call it the universe and nature and Earth and all that. Anyway, so Nancy gave me a couple tricks, but two of them were very helpful, more than any of the therapists or the counselors gave me. One of them was to just use my senses, and this is going to be something you might want to fast forward a couple minutes if you're not somebody who suffers from anxiety. But this is something that helped me a lot. There were two things, but one of them was I call it the hot chocolate because she asked me what was my favorite drink, and it took me a second to think. But my favorite drink is hot chocolate. I enjoy a nice cup of hot chocolate. Um, Unfortunately, I don't drink it that much because I'm always worried about cavities and stuff. So and it's always like packed with sugar and stuff. So unless you can brush your teeth immediately after, don't drink don't drink chocolate, hot chocolate. But she asked me what my favorite drink was, so I said hot chocolate, and she said, "Okay, I want you to close your eyes and just feel the arms of the chair you're on. Okay, tell me what they feel like." So they feel wood. She told me to tap on them and tell me what they sound like when I tap on them. So they sound solid, like they don't sound hollow. And then she said, think of your favorite drink. So I did. And I told her it was, she asked me what it was. I said it was hot chocolate. And then she had me sit there and do everything I could. She led me through it step by step, but it started with just my hands. And I just, pretend that like I'm at the table, which I guess it helps really now because I'm at a table or a desk. But, you close your eyes, you're at a table, or just wherever you want to be. But I prefer having mine at Sherry's it's my diner down there. So I just pretended that I was at Sherry's, and I like it when it rains outside. So it's raining, and it's raining outside, and I can hear the rain, like on the window, because my favorite seat at Sherry's is next to the window, where I can see my car outside. Because I like my car. It's something I've worked. It's a piece of art to me. I've spent a lot of time working on my car, so I like looking at her. So I have the comfort of my car there, which also helps just knowing I can leave whenever I want. And I can hear the rain hitting the window. And by this point, I'm not even thinking about my breath, and I'm breathing fine. But I keep going. I'm feeling the table, and then I start to feel the hot chocolate. Now, you got to use your senses. Like, is it too hot? Like, you feel it with your hands first. Is it too hot to touch? Can I rest my hands on the glass just for some comfort? I like to put my face over it, just for the aroma. You know what I'm saying? I like to put my face over I like to just sort of like people do with tea and coffee. And fuck it, fuck it, I had them put some hot chocolate on that bitch. Or I mean some whipped cream. But then you got to use your mouth. You got to like even if the cup is okay to grab, you got to test with the top of your lip right there. Is it too hot? Is it too hot to like, put in your mouth? So you take a little real slow, like let it just just see if it burns. And just by that point, I'm out of. If I do that as I feel an anxiety attack coming, I don't even need to take my medication. I don't even need to take my. I don't need to take my Klonopin or anything. Obviously I still do, so I don't go into the withdrawal at a certain point. But I don't need to. You know what I'm saying? Also, another thing that she taught me. This was a main thing, and this one isn't nearly as long, but it's very important. And I guess it's really simple, but it's something that I guess I just never occurred to me. Because I know to live in the moment. That's like one of the first things you learn when you start dealing with anxiety, is living in the moment and living in now. But what I never took into consideration is my safety. And that's the reason I'm always afraid of death, is I've seen a lot of death. I've been around a lot of death. There's been a lot of people dying, and I know how fragile life is, and I know how quickly it can go. And that, on top of my fear of everything that could come after it, is it hurts. Like, it physically hurts my body. It makes me tense, and it makes me, like the physical therapist they brought in after I talked to Nancy, because after this talk with Nancy, I got a really bad panic attack. She just turned my notches up. She turned my knobs up way too high, and I was just way too sensitive to everything, and I couldn't breathe or anything. And they tried to bring me in to give me like their physical therapist tried to give me a massage, and she said that she's never felt anybody more tense than me. Everything from like right here, like right around my neck area, all the way to the bottom of my rib cage is like a brick. It's like all one solid piece. It's getting better. But like, that's kind of how it is. And I think a lot of that I have to blame for like my dad and Darren, because they always instilled in me that it's always really good to have that it's important to have good posture. So I always, not right now, I'm kind of doing it now. My shoulders should be further down. You know what I'm saying? But like, always have your shoulders up, back, your chin level with the ground, and look directly at whatever you're walking towards or whatever you're talking to. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, after a while, and the thing is, my mouth is naturally open because I have a stupid mouth with big teeth and I look dumb. So I got made fun of a lot in school for just looking like a stupid kid with my mouth open all the time. So I've just trained myself over the years as a kid to naturally keep my mouth closed, which, as you can see, when I do it, it uses like this muscle a lot, but it also really stimulates my jaw muscle. because that's what you're using to, close your mouth. You know what I'm saying? So I sit like this a lot. Shoulders up, back, chin level, mouth closed. You know what I'm saying? And while I guess that is really good posture, it doesn't feel good after a while. And that on top of just all the stress. And I mean, that's just how I've been carrying myself for years. Just because Darren really fucked up what my idea of a man is. So it's like, I really feel like it's going to be a long time before I ever really consider myself to be a man. And that's also why I really don't like people calling me sir, because I don't feel like a sir. I still feel very 13. I still feel very 14. I've just gotten a little bit better at talking since then, I guess. And I'm still interested in all of the same interests that I had then. I've just sharpened them and gotten better at them. The way I dress, that everything has been the exact same my whole life. I've just sharpened it and got better at it, and just so I don't know when I'm gonna make that transition over into being a man. But Darren and them really fucked me up with that, with like the posture and the put some bass in your voice. Don't sound like a fucking faggot when you're talking to people. You know what I'm saying? Hit your syllables hard. You know what I'm saying? And well, that just came from rapping. I can't blame that on them. But when you're presenting yourself and you're out in public, look like you mean everything you're gonna say. And that's what I do. But that, on top of all the anxiety, I just gotta let that go. I gotta learn to just relax my shoulder. Do some of this. You know what I'm saying? Like Pat said to Diz, like, start doing some of this. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, Nancy taught me that just being in the moment, I'm safe. All of my anxiety is coming from either things that I'm shooken up over that had happened before me, that I'm safe from now, or it's fear of stuff that has yet to happen, that I don't even know will happen. It's just me theorizing things about like death and stuff. But right here, talking to you, making this video, I'm safe. As far as I can tell. Until further notice, I'm safe. I'm okay. My heart hasn't given out. I haven't had like an aneurysm. I haven't had like a... Also, that helped a lot with my heart, knowing that nobody in my... Also, this may help if you're ever afraid of having like a seizure. If you haven't had a seizure within like the first 20 years of your life, your chances of ever having epilepsy or anything like that is very, very low. So don't be worried about that. I also learned that aneurysms are brain attacks. Like it's the same thing as a heart attack, except to your brain. It's just a blood clot that it gets stuck. And it just... So, but luckily I found that there were it brought a lot of peace of mind to know that nobody in my family has had any heart or blood problems. But, I learned a lot about... Now let me get into the stuff, the paper stuff that I learned. First thing I read through was something that Dr. O'Connell printed out for me. It's called The Mess That Is Stress. And I just read through this, and if you look at the guy here, it shows you sort of how everything works. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, I finally got diagnosed. I got diagnosed within like 4 days there. Severe PTSD. I just have a really, really bad case of PTSD. And that's what all of my psychotic problems and all my tension and everything is coming from. It's very much the same thing that like happens to like, I don't want to compare myself to them, but like the same thing that happens to like soldiers when they come back from war. It's just that shaken up, like, even though you know you're okay and you're past it, it's still in your body and you're still in that, like, does it have to go down now? Like, what's up? You know what I'm saying? So I've just had really bad PTSD for a long time, and it's been getting worse and worse. But this guy, I won't keep it up for long. You can pause it if you want to. I've circled out. You saw me circle out with pen kind of all the stuff that I have and where it's leading to. But I circled out and outlined some things that I circled out and outlined and underlined some things that I wanted to read through that might help you guys, that helped me. But I'll have to do that. Stop this for a second. I'll go to the next video.